The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Well, hello there, everybody. This is CJ, and today we have our guest host, Mr. Carlos Cesar, the mayor of the Flint. How are you, Carlos?
Good, good. Good morning, Fall River. Good morning, listeners. And thank you for inviting me to be here to replace somebody that cannot be replaced. And I will never be able to fill the shoes, but
you're filling his seat.
But I'm filling his seat, and I have to say it's a hot seat to sit.
It is the hot seat, that's for sure. It's definitely the hot seat. But it's interesting because if you're following social media, which I know you and I are, Carlos, but if you're out there following social media, there's a lot of debate and a lot of fights going on about this March 6th ballot question. And now the yes people are starting their propaganda move, and they're starting to send out flyers saying that if there's a no vote, the city will lose its MSBA money. Well, I hate to do this to them, but of course, we here at Spindle City Straight Talk, what do we get? We get the law. We get the law, and I'm going to read you what needed to be voted upon for MSBA money. Quote, this is Massachusetts General Law 70B and Chapters 963 CMR 2.10. A city, town, or regional school district must vote to appropriate and authorize the full amount of a project's costs, including both the local share and the MSBA share, if any. The total project budget amount must be authorized and approved. That is the only vote required. The only vote required. You can do a Prop 2.5 override, and what they do is they even give you how that Prop 2.5 override question has to be worded. But that's not what's required to receive MSBA money. So the people on the yes side who are saying, oh, if you vote no, we're not going to get the money, stop the fallacies. Stop the misinformation. You want to have this fair, have it fair. Nobody is saying that we don't need a school. I haven't heard one no person say we don't need a new school. But I've heard the yes people get very personal on their attacks, to the point that even the neighborhood associations, a few of them, won't allow the no people to present while the yes people are there presenting. And that happened yesterday at the Bank Street Neighborhood Association. Bank Street refused to let Steve Kamara speak on the no side, and why he wants a no vote. And that's unfair.
Well, let me start by saying this. I have a lot of friends, a lot of good friends on the other side of the fence on this issue. And I have a tremendous respect for them. They are not just good friends, but they are doing the best they can for the success of the city. With that being said, the more they try to be biased, the worse that's going to be. So far, no one said that they don't want a new school. I said it, and I keep saying, I want a new school. I think that the kids deserve a new school. All of that, I've been saying since day one. The only part that I don't agree is with the financial part. And guess what? I have to thank the school department for the job they did. I have to thank the committee for this project, for the tremendous job they did. They looked for different solutions. Even people that don't agree with the location. I will give you an example. Some people in the community don't agree with the location, but at least they put on the table and they looked for different locations, and they decided what was the best. I totally agreed with them. That was the best. That's the best. Now comes my problem now is the fact that the city then did their job like the committee did, and only present to us one solution. It's yes or no, and this is the solution to pay for this. They don't even have, or they don't even allowed discussions on. Couple of city councils on the floor, on the city council floor, want to put that second option on the table.
Exactly.
And if we had a chance to go through those options and come down with this is the only solution, I would not be making and being where I am right now. Because we talked about, we had different options on the table, and this is the best that we think that that we can do for this building.
It was a tool. It was a tool to put in the box.
Exactly.
I'm quoting them.
And they automatically took that out of the way, so we came just with one option. That's why I don't agree. And that's why people on the other side don't agree. Has nothing to do with the job from the committee, has nothing to do with the school committee. They did their job. City sides, they did a terrible job.
They did no job. They did no job. All they did was say, you're going to do a Prop 2.5 override. That's it. Nothing else. Too bad. And when Sean Kadim brought up the option of doing it within the tax levy, and Leo Pelletier seconded so some discussion could be had. Then Leo Pelletier says, I don't want any more discussion, so I'm removing my second, and that stopped everything. Which said to me, and said to many other voters, Leo Pelletier is in favor of higher taxes.
And if you were there on that meeting,
I was.
Okay, you could see the commotion on the people there when Leo seconded.
Right.
Okay? And matter of fact, somebody just walked in the chamber with his arms open, like, what are you doing?
Yep.
You know? And that's exactly, I was there. That's why I like to be there present. Because a lot of stuff happens behind the scenes, behind the cameras, that people at home don't watch and don't know about. So, and that was the motivation for Leo to remove his second. And right there, I knew this is going to be only one option, and that's what they're going to try to. That's what we're going to have to swallow.
Well,
so, for that fact, and just for the financial part, I'm against, because I was not give to me different options, and I only had one option, and I don't agree with this option.
Well, you know, and here's the thing. They keep saying, oh, if we get a new school, it's going to do economic development. If we get a new school building, it's going to improve classroom outcomes, student outcomes. Let me tell you something. Right now, Durfee High School is amongst the lowest performing 20% of the schools and subgroups in Massachusetts. This comes from the Massachusetts Department of Education. We tell you where we get our data from. It says right here. Most schools are assigned a level from 1 to 5, with those meeting their proficiency gap narrowing goals in levels lowest performing in level 3, and lowest performing in levels 4 and 5. Durfee is a level 3 school. A district is typically assigned level based on the level of its lowest percentage in school. Placing schools and districts into levels helps districts know which schools need more support. And by the way, there's money available for level 3 schools, which Durfee is. And the state knows which districts need the most assistance. And there's more information available if you want it. Now, this is this is in the lowest performing 20%. The lowest performing schools were a level 3 school. Not because of the building. It's because of the student's performance. That's how it's regulated, the student performance. And they even say in their thing that people are blaming the building. It's not the building. This is what they're looking at. See, these are how the kids are doing in school. Okay, these are how English, math, science. That's what they're looking at. That's how they rate the school. And a school building's not going to make it a better outcome.
Let's economic development. Okay, economic development, how this school is going to improve our economic development. I don't believe what they are selling me, because economic development, companies that are going to move into Fall River, I don't think they're going to ask you how much we paid for a building.
No, they're not.
They're going to ask us what the percentage of graduation, and they're going to ask for college graduations, not for high school graduations. Okay, so high school graduation, you know what job you can get with the high school graduation now in Fall River? Fast food restaurants, flipping burgers. That's what the high school graduation is going to give you. I have two daughters that are in college. Matter of fact, one is pretty much all set to start to go to the Navy. But guess what? They could not fund a job, a decent job, with the high school graduation, with the high school diploma. Another thing that the yes side is saying is, we need this building and we need to have the auditorium on this building, because if the kids leave the building to go to the old auditorium, they will not come back to class.
I love that one. I love that argument.
Let me tell you this. The teachers there not babysitting. We're not dealing with babies. We're dealing with the young adults that are there for one and one reason only, for their future and for their education. If they leave the building and they don't come back, it's because they're really not important. The education, it's not really important to them.
But here's the thing.
I'm sorry to say, I had two girls there. I had two girls. They have to go to soccer games and then come back again. That's what they had to do.
That's right.
I'm sorry. That's it.
But you know, the thing is, why do we need a second auditorium? Why? Just so that we can make sure the kids don't leave the school? The kids can leave the kids leave the school every day. They go to McDonald's, they go to Newport Creamery, they go to Papa Gino's, they go to Dunkin' Donuts across the street. How many times I see the kids walking back and forth across the street with coffees in their hand?
Another thing is, the building's not going to change their behavior.
That's right. It's not.
That's another thing that the yes vote is trying to tell me, that I'm going to give this this new building and the kid behavior is going to change. No. It's not going to change. I'm sorry. It's not going to change. If you move from an apartment to a single-family house, you think that person is going to change just because they change the home? No, I'm sorry. I mean, you want to convince me. It's only one way that you have to convince me, and you're not doing a good job and getting my vote. I'm sorry that we are where we are. I'm sorry that you are in a situation that you cannot afford, but we need your help. We need you to sacrifice, and we need you to vote yes. That's the only way the yes vote is going to convince me and changing my vote. Because all of this information they're putting out there, I don't believe.
It's full.
And on top of it, we're not barring 95 or 98. You go out, anywhere you go and you sign a contract, if it's interest included, the interest, it's in there. So you signing a bill with principal and interest.
Always.
Always. It's always there. So
unless you're buying a car on 6 years at 0% interest.
Exactly. Everything that you
and they tell you that. And they tell you that.
Exactly. So when a city council trying to tell you and show you that math, and you're saying, and the administration is saying, you mixing orange and apples. No, he's not mixing orange and apples. He's showing the way it is. We are borrowing for that entire money.
And the thing is that the state is bonding the 165, and they want us to include the interest on that 165. We don't have to include that interest. That's not coming directly out of the Fall River taxpayers' pocket. That's a grant. That's given to us with no strings. Therefore, it's 165.
Yeah,
and it's over $181 million on our side, which means the 62% isn't 62%.
Exactly.
It's not 62%. And this is the thing, they keep lying.
And another thing is the comment that Mary Sahadi said about, well, they are borrowing the money too, and they are paying interest, and we cannot allow and give those numbers because we don't know how much money they pay in interest. Yeah, I'm going to give you that. But that's not going to change the amount that I'm going to pay for.
That's right. That's right. And they keep touting that, you know, you're including the interest, you're including the interest, you're including the interest. And as a matter of fact, it's so bad that you have people saying, if you can't afford it, get out of town. You've been told that. I mean, we were saying
I was working and listening on my radio on the interview, and I just stopped working. I said, did I listen right? Is the superintendent of schools telling me that if I cannot afford, I should move to Russia because everything is free there, or education is free there? Something's wrong in here. I'm sorry, something's wrong in here. And that's why I was so upset that I posted what I posted, because usually I don't like to post. Usually, and you know, I love my city. I do everything I can. I donate hundreds and hundreds of hours for this city. I love the city. I want the best for this city. But when something like this, and that's why people following my Facebook, they know something's wrong. Because, you know, I try to not post as much negative. I try to post as much I can positive. So that's why I had to post it. I have to say, you know something, it's over here and has to come out. I cannot hold this back. People that not listening to radio right now needs to know what's going on. And I understand that the superintendent is in a bad position right now, but it's not getting an attitude mode that's going to help. It's going to you're just going to make things worse.
And the thing is, the big question is, does the superintendent live in Fall River? I don't think he does. And the thing is, there are all these people who don't live in Fall River, who don't live in Fall River, all these people who don't live here, like some of the people on the building committee, like some of the businesses that are located in Somerset, like some of the media outlets located elsewhere. They're not in Fall River. No, so what is their big deal? They shouldn't have a say.
I totally agree with you. And another thing that I really, I have a tremendous respect from our fire department and from our police department. And they know that, and I appreciate and I thank them every time that I see them. But I think it's a big mistake for them to be putting themselves on this project and supporting this project. And I'm going to tell you why. If you a firefighter or a police officer and you agreed with this, yes, come forward as yourself. You know, then the job comes behind you. My name is Carlos Cesar, and what I do for work, I'm a firefighter. But now, when I don't say that, and I say I represent the fire department, now I can say, but a lot of firefighters don't live in Fall River. So why are you representing the entire group, you know, when they don't vote in Fall River?
And my question is, why aren't they advocating for new firehouses for them?
It's just wrong.
But why aren't they advocating for new firehouses for them? Why are they not advocating for that? Because they need them as well.
Because now, and that's the thing, where we stuck right now, if they want to come out and support the school department and the committee, was one thing. This now is political. This is political.
But they always get involved politically.
And they should not get themselves involved in political. Because guess what? They know they always, if something goes wrong, they're always the ones that are going to lose. Because they're always the ones that are going to cut. They're not going to cut how much people get paid at City Hall. They're not going to cut those. They're going to cut the police officer. So why are you putting yourself in something that this could turn around and they can say, because if this don't pass, their job's going to be unjeopardized.
They already said it.
They will be the first thing they want to be cut. Is police and fire department. They're going to be the first ones. They're not going to tell you that we're going to fire people, that we're going to bring the salaries down. They're not going to go that way. It's going to go, again, police and fire department.
It always does. Every year it goes that way.
It's not fair. It's just not fair for them.
And no, but it goes that way every year, whether it be this year for the new school, whether it be last year for something. Well, last year the fire department got huge pay raises, so they're trying. One of the reasons why they're being political hacks is they're trying to protect their pay raises and they're trying to protect their jobs. Well, guess what? I can understand that.
And politics, nobody is safe.
No, exactly. And this is the biggest problem we have, is that police and fire should be advocating for police and fire. They should be advocating for more personnel. They should be advocating for new equipment. They should be advocating for new firehouses, new police stations, whatever they need. Okay.
Because I'm telling you, somebody just came with a comment. Carlos, I saw the fire chief carrying stuff back and forth for this YES group. And my comment was, maybe he's helping the group bringing stuff in and out. You know, so I really want to defend them as much I can, because we have the second best to none on this city. They are great workers. They do their job well. I mean, I cannot say more good about them. I have nothing to say about the school committee. I have nothing to say about this committee put together for this project. They did their best. They looked different options, and they just bring to the table what the best they think they were going to come out of it. Now, on the city side, that's what I have problems. And remember, 2 years ago, I was in front of the city council, and I was against streetscapes. Because what? Because I said, the Durfee project's coming around the corner. The Durfee project's coming around the corner. And guess what? I need to blame, and I need to put a little bit of blaming on the city councils on this too. Because guess what? If you don't sign, they don't get paid. And that's exactly what happened here, okay? Because I got money from the state to fix a park, now everybody wants money for the parks, but they come to the city. Guess what? We had to bond for money to fix the parks around the city. Then, the water department needs money. We're gonna, and because it's one more bonding coming for the water department, they didn't put together. Right. They didn't put together on this vote, but because they know if they had put the vote together on the same vote, that they would not pass.
That's
so
right.
they kept that alone. But guess what? Next year, we probably will have another special election to put another bond on the city. So that's what I'm saying. Why are we not going to the priorities first? To me, Durfee, it's more important than streetscapes, than fixing parks, okay? Because that's the education of our kids. I want our kids to be and to have the best education.
And here's something that we need to make very clear to people. Mary Sahadia said that maybe after, remember, probably, possibly, maybe, after 8 years, this will come off the tax bill. Understand something. If that happens, that means the debt service is going to be at the city maximum. It's a self-imposed maximum, but it's still the city maximum, which means the city can't bond for anything. So if there's an emergency, we're out of luck. We're out of luck. So understand something. Build within the tax levy. Build within the tax levy. Build within the debt service. Don't try to go outside of that. Okay? You've got 2 auditoriums. You only need 1. Get rid of an auditorium. Save $1 million. Get rid of dumping all that money into the athletic fields.
I can guarantee you, and I will be around, if we have to build that or fix that building on our own, that price is going to drop immensely.
Of course.
That price is going to drop because now it's we are building.
That's
we
right.
are fixing. Okay? So it's on our tax money. So instead of us having locks with numbers, we will have locks with keys.
Exactly.
Okay? So that's what I'm saying is, you know, and I'm at the point that I want to give education to our kids, but it's a better way to do it. And that's why I'm not supporting this project this way. Let's have a different way, and let's try not to open our wallets too much. And people that have been asking me, what is my position on this? I only tell, like every election day, I have a message. When we're voting for city councils and for mayors and for presidents, my message on the election day is, don't vote for blue eyes, vote for who you think that's going to get the job done. On this election, my message for the voters is, don't vote with your heart, vote with your wallet. Because if you don't have the money on your wallet to pay for it, you should vote no.
I agree. And the thing is that people are already saying that. And people are still saying, well, if you can't afford it, move out. Go rent an apartment. Guess what? The renters are going to feel this too. Because if the taxes go up, the property owner is going to transmit that money, that cost to the renter. Mm-hmm. As it is, landlords like myself have not transferred the cost of the water bill increases. Mm-hmm. My water bill went up extensively the past couple of quarters, mm-hmm. over $200 each quarter. That's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And I haven't transferred that to my tenants yet. But guess what? It's going to have to happen somewhere.
It's going to happen.
It's going to have to happen.
It's going to come to a point that between the water and the tax and all of that, the owners cannot hold the entire bill. They cannot. And
no.
They're going to have to pass it on. And remember one thing, city councils just approved the shift from the business to the people.
Again, a city council that loves to tax the people. Exactly.
So on top of it, we already have that switch. So everything, we're going to get hit from everywhere. From everywhere. So I just want people to just like when you make your numbers and try to budget your check to get all the bills paid and still have a little bit on the side to put food on the table, not even for emergencies, just to put food on the table. So remember this, when you divide your money, make sure that you're counting with all this extra money that they're going to knock on your door. And like I said in front of the city council, it's not the 31 cents. Okay? No, it's not. It's not the 31 cents. But the problem is it's 31 cents for 10,950 days. And if one day I don't have 99 cents, I don't have coffee. But I don't have the bill on my door to pay anyway, either if I had coffee or not. Okay?
But Paul Coogan said he'll buy you a coffee.
No, yeah. At least I have friends on the school committee that still want to buy me a coffee.
Exactly.
So that's a good thing. But with that being said, I mean, for everything they say yes, we always have something to say about it. I don't know how long we have, because you throw a lot of papers in here, a lot of things to talk about.
We're not getting to the other stuff today, that's for sure.
But, no, it's one more here that I probably want to...
We have less than a minute, so no.
Oh, too bad.
I know, we don't have a lot of time.
And that was on Macy, really... on Macy, that he wants to hide the emails and the texts. I just have $1 million word for him: transparency.
Yeah, transparency. That's it.
Transparency.
What do you have to hide? People are asking, what do you have to hide?
I don't want to read what you guys talked about or whatever. I just want you to tell me that if you want to, you can read them. And that's transparency.
That's right. That's right. And we have a right to read them. Under Mass General Law 6610, we have that right to read them.
What I think that we protect it anyway.
Well, I hope we are. That's for sure.
But anyway, it was a pleasure being in here. And I hope that...
you monopolize the entire half hour.
I hope Chip is back Monday for the show, because that's a hot seat here.
See what happens when you don't get time, you're more than 3 minutes in the city council chamber. You got to come here.
I know. At least here I had 30 minutes.
There you go.
Thank you.
Hey, have a great weekend, everybody. And remember, stay angry. Tomorrow, 12 o'clock, Burger King is the Vote No Coalition meeting. Have a great day.